In the dark corners of human history, and across the eerie corridors of abandoned buildings, whispers persist of spectral beings that defy the laws of the living. Ghosts, those elusive entities believed to be the spirits of the deceased, have haunted the collective imagination of cultures worldwide for millennia. From ancient folklore to modern paranormal investigations, the phenomenon of ghosts continues to fascinate and perplex, offering tantalizing glimpses into the mysteries of existence and the afterlife. At its essence, the concept of ghosts revolves around the idea that when a person dies, their consciousness or spirit may linger on earth, detached from its original corporeal form. These apparitions are often described as translucent or shadowy figures, sometimes appearing as they did in life, or manifesting in spectral forms that defy human comprehension. While skeptics dismiss such accounts as products of overactive imaginations or psychological phenomena, countless individuals throughout history have reported encounters with ghosts that defy rational explanation, sparking debates about the very nature of consciousness and the possibility of life after death. The belief in ghosts spans cultures and civilizations, with each society imbuing these spectral entities with its own unique myths, legends, and superstitions. In Egypt, for example, the concept of the ka, or spirit, was central to the beliefs about the afterlife, with rituals and funeral practices aimed at ensuring the deceased's spirit could journey safely to the realm of the dead. Similarly, in medieval Europe, tales of restless spirits haunting castles and battlefields were commonplace, reflecting a deeply ingrained fear of the unknown and the supernatural. Throughout history, various explanations have been proposed to account for ghostly phenomena, ranging from religious interpretations to psychological theories. Some cultures view ghosts as benevolent ancestors or guardians, while others perceive them as malevolent entities seeking to wreak havoc upon the living. In the realm of psychology, theories such as hallucinations, sleep paralysis, and the power of suggestion offer alternative explanations for ghostly encounters, suggesting that these experiences may be rooted in the complexities of the human mind rather than supernatural forces. Despite the skepticism of mainstream science, the study of ghosts, known as ghostology or spectrophysics, has gained traction in recent centuries, spurred by advancements in technology and a growing interest in paranormal phenomena. Paranormal investigators, armed with electromagnetic field detectors, infrared cameras, and audio recording devices, seek to capture evidence of ghostly activity, conducting experiments in allegedly haunted locations in the hopes of uncovering proof of life after death. Yet, for all the efforts of researchers and enthusiasts, the mystery of ghosts remains elusive and enigmatic, resisting easy categorization and explanation. Whether one believes in the existence of ghosts or dismisses them as figments of the imagination, Their enduring presence in human culture speaks to a profound longing for connection and understanding in the face of mortality. I decided that I wanted to look into the possibility that ghosts or spirits actually exist. So I began researching the subject to see if there is a scientific way of identifying or communicating with ghosts or spirits. During my research, I came across a group called Gateshead Paranormal. Gateshead Paranormal are a group who actually go out and investigate haunted locations and stories of the past. Fortunately, when I contacted them, they were happy to be interviewed, and they even allowed us to use some of their footage from their investigations. Please note that much of the footage is a little blurry and grainy, as these are real investigations, not designed for show, and as such, much of the footage is recorded on surveillance and monitoring cameras.
Got interested in the paranormal when I was around 11, 12 years old. Me and Terry's daughter were bunking off school. We seen a face come up to the window. We tried to make it round the side of the house and back to the school. Terry pulled up. We explained what we had seen. And then Terry told us a little bit of what had been going on in the house. I believe he had been trying to protect his daughter from it. She wasn't aware of what was going on.
So how I got interested in the paranormal is watching other people's TV shows and videos online. And then I did start to experience what I class as paranormal activity myself. I had crushed glass all around in my bedroom on my laminate, all around my skirting boards. I would clean it up and it would just reappear the next day with no explanation whatsoever. There was also a unit that I had in my bedroom and it was out of reach from my bed. I had a glass on there one night. That just flew off of that and smashed on the floor as well. And I got woken up by that, and there was no way that I could have even touched it. I've actually felt myself being pushed, and I've even had experience of having my name spoken to me.
Then as an adult, my opinions on things might have changed. Terry had experienced a lot more than I had, so it was one night we decided, well, why don't we try and find out for ourselves and see if we can help someone in the process.
Well, when we go on an investigation, we've been in touch by the client. We always get their address. We will go maybe a week or two before we do the investigation, and we go look over the property with them. We get their story, all of the events of what's been happening on the property, and then we will ask them, to give us an idea of where would be a good place to put a camera or a microphone, and then we will give them the opportunity to ask us any questions. And then we explain to them what we're going to do over the night. We show them some of the equipment. Sometimes we'll take it with us, or we'll show it online on the videos what we use, and it makes the client feel relaxed and then they know what to expect for when we turn up and do the investigation on that night.
On an investigation, we'll typically use a REM pod, which creates its own magnetic field, and if something physically breaks that field, it'll set an alarm, a trigger, so we know that that's going off.
If you've just been near this device that I have in my hand, can you please come towards it again? Don't feel frightened in any way, it won't harm you.
They both went on the exact same. Did that say something as well?
Just said, any.
And all three of them lit up.
Catch that there.
All three of them.
Nobody able to come on in, have to go through concrete. When you think about it, that's just a little plastic box.
Oh, they're all there against the pipe place.
Well, the thing is, that there's no point, is there? Because we had it held here. We weren't holding our hands up there, like you can see.
Yeah.
If you put your hands up there, you're still getting nothing. But I had it down here. So,
Your the kid too just went into red. All the way.
did that? That's just said loud.
How close you have to be to that to light it up?
See, this is how close. Look, I'm now nothing. That's literally what, about an inch and a half away to start to get that to go off. And obviously, the nearer you get to it, the more you're going to do. So if you can, well, you obviously can. With any spirit energy, please go towards that device on the floor again. Try and make all the lights come on, make that alarm go off. To do that, go up and actually touch the aerial. Again, if you can see that device on the floor, or either device that I have in my hand, can you please come towards one of them? Okay, can you step away again?
Step back. We'll leave digital recorders lying around. And sometimes we'll catch EVPs on those recorders. And we know nobody was in the rooms at the time because we'll cover the rooms with CCTV.
EVP stands for electronic voice phenomenon, and that is a spirit energy's voice that can come through on digital recorders, and we cannot hear it with the human ear, but it's electronic devices that can pick up those EVPs from the spirits. My name's Terry. Did that just say my name's Terry.
I respond to skeptics with understanding. I'm quite skeptical in my nature anyway. I started this as a skeptic. I mean, I had the experience as a child, and then as I grew older, you tend to try and justify what could have happened in different ways. And I feel like it's healthy to approach an investigation with an air of skepticism.
Well, you're always going to get skeptics in what we do. Now, we did have an investigation where a chair moved on camera. The Chronicle done a story on us, and BBC Radio Newcastle also did a radio interview with us, and there was lots of people ringing in being skeptic and saying it was all staged. Now, at the time of the investigation, we have a DVR recorder, which is a bit like the security cameras that I have in shops, and it can't be tampered with or altered. It's not tape or anything like that. And I put an offer out there for anybody that thought that I'd moved that chair, that they could come to my house, they could look over that DVR footage from the minute we set everything up to the minute we broke it all down. Those cameras are rolling, and not one person came forward to come and call me a liar or to think I'd done anything deceitful. And that is where our proof is that haven't done anything to make it wrong, and we're just trying to find the real evidence.
I'd say the most memorable paranormal experience we all shared as a group was a chair moving on camera. We tried everything we could to debunk that. We moved the chair. We sat where one of our other investigators was sitting just to rule out they couldn't reach that chair with the foot. And we've got the footage from setting up to closing down the investigation, and at no point does anyone tamper with that chair.
What is very interesting about the chair moving during this investigation in Rowland's Gill is that leading up to the chair moving, multiple orbs are seen floating around the room. This time we are going to watch the lead up to the chair moving. Another investigation in which clear orbs were seen is in the Blue Azure pub investigation, where the Gateshead paranormal team were trying to make contact with a man who had been stabbed to death. You can see the orb appear from the right and move across the screen before disappearing and then reappearing from the right, this time closer to the camera as it passes across the screen. Earlier in that particular location, you can see an odd-shaped entity come round the corner of the room and drop towards the ground. Notice also an orb come down from the middle top of the screen as it moves diagonally down and off the left-hand side of the screen. This is the exact location where the man was stabbed to death. Orbs are commonly described as luminous, spherical shapes that appear in photographs or videos, typically in environments associated with paranormal activity. While skeptics argue that orbs are nothing more than dust particles, insects, or camera artifacts, believers contend that they are manifestations of spiritual energy, ghosts, or even extraterrestrial beings. One prevalent theory surrounding orbs links them to spiritual entities or energies. Proponents of this perspective argue that orbs are the visual representation of souls, spirits, or other worldly beings. In paranormal investigations, individuals often report experiencing a sense of presence or heightened energy when orbs are present, leading to the belief that these spheres are the manifestations of entities attempting to communicate with the living. Photographs and videos featuring orbs are associated with haunted locations or sites of significant historical events. Some paranormal investigators use specialist equipment such as infrared cameras and electromagnetic field meters to capture and measure these orbs, seeking to establish a correlation between their presence and paranormal activity. The belief is that orbs may serve as a bridge between the spiritual and physical realms. Seeing such a flurry of orbs, and this leading to the chair moving, was very exciting for the team. So Terry attempted to communicate with the spirit and also ask the spirit to move a torch. Unfortunately, on this occasion, the spirit was unable to manifest itself enough to be able to physically move anything. However, it does communicate as Terry asks it to move the torch, and it does say both Brandon and Terry's name.
I've got this device. I want to put the torch on the floor. Brandon! Brandon! Brandon!
Brandon. Whoa.
Clear as anything.
Jesus. Hello. Yes.
What's it doing again?
Sorry.
Place the torch on the floor there, and there's a little button on that. All you need to do is push the button, make the torch light up.
Paul.
Oh, that's what I thought it said, Tom.
Dorothy, the torch on the floor. Just move it close, please.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Oh.
Would you like us to leave?
Terry
again. Terry again. You could always ask us what we're doing and why do we want to get in touch with you.
Is that what it is?
One thing that fascinates people about the paranormal is that dogs, our loyal companions for thousands of years, have long been associated with a heightened sensitivity to the supernatural. While humans rely on their five senses to navigate the world around them, dogs seem to possess an uncanny ability to perceive things beyond the scope of human comprehension. This heightened sensitivity to the supernatural has been observed in various creatures and throughout history, fostering a deep connection between dogs and the mystical. One aspect of a dog's heightened sensitivity to the supernatural lies in their acute sense of hearing. Dogs can detect frequencies beyond the range of human ears, allowing them to pick up on subtle sounds that may be associated with the paranormal phenomena. Many tales recount dogs barking or reacting anxiously to seemingly empty spaces, suggesting that they may be attuned to spectral energies or entities that elude human perception. The canine sense of smell is another extraordinary attribute that contributes to their perceived sensitivity to the supernatural. Dogs possess a highly developed olfactory system capable of detecting pheromones, hormones, and even certain diseases. Some proponents of paranormal studies argue that dogs may also be capable of detecting the subtle changes in electromagnetic fields that are believed to accompany supernatural occurrences. The heightened olfactory sense may explain why dogs often display unusual behaviour in supposedly haunted locations, seemingly responding to otherworldly scents that elude human detection. Furthermore, dogs are known for their ability to sense changes in human emotions and moods. This intuitive connection suggests that they may be attuned to energies or entities that emanate from the supernatural realm. Many pet owners have reported their dogs displaying unusual behaviour such as growling, barking, or cowering in response to unseen forces. This behaviour is often interpreted as a sign that dogs can sense and react to the presence of spirits or energies that transcend human understanding. The concept of dogs acting as protectors against malevolent supernatural forces is deeply ingrained in folklore and mythology. In various cultures, dogs are considered guardians of the underworld or protectors against evil spirits. The ancient Egyptians, for example, revered the jackal-headed god Anubis, associating him with death and the afterlife. These myths reflect the belief that dogs possess a unique sensitivity to the supernatural and are capable of discerning and warding off other worldly threats. While scientific evidence regarding dogs' sensitivity to the supernatural remains inconclusive, the countless anecdotes and cultural beliefs surrounding this phenomenon persists. Whether it be their acute senses, intuitive connection with humans, or the rich tapestry of folklore, dogs continue to hold a special place in our collective consciousness as creatures with a heightened sensitivity to the mysterious and the supernatural. Perhaps in the future, further research will shed light on the intriguing relationship between dogs and the unseen forces that captivate our imagination. Until then, the bond between humans and their canine companions remains a source of fascination and wonder. As we continue to watch the investigation in Rowland's Gill, we get a taste of the super sensitivity to the supernatural that many believe dogs possess.
If you are in here with us and you don't want to come towards the device, go towards the dog.
Ooh. Does the dog do that often? It's looking over into that corner there.
Notice things in the kitchen, like drawers opening and things moving.
My hair's all standing on.
Can you move something today for me, Dorothy, please?
Clearly in the footage, we can see that the dog is troubled at this moment. And it is very interesting that the dog's growling took place at the same time that the chair moved. Perhaps the dog saw the chair move on its own and felt that something was not right. Or perhaps the dog could actually see the spirit as it happened. Many people suggest that for a spirit to move something, it must concentrate its energy to the extent that it becomes more of a physical entity, and that perhaps dogs can see such an entity as its concentration increases.
Well, one of the intense things that has happened to me on any investigations where we went to Northumberland, to Windsor's Gibbet, where a convict from the 1800s just was right back. He was in London, he moved up the country and he got to Newcastle where he'd robbed some old people. So back in the day they dragged him through the streets. He was hung up at Windsor's Gibbet to spend the rest of his days, which wasn't going to be long, and people would throw things at him. We went there, we had done the investigation, and one of the things that I said, I was taunting him, I said, if you were here, I think you're chicken. I said, I don't believe you had any remorse for what you've done to anybody in the past. So do something to me. Let me know that your presence is here. I initially didn't think anything had happened, but when I got home the following morning, I woke up with a massive burn, and I had a burn that went the entire width from my chest.
This is not the only time a member of the Gateshead Paranormal team has been physically attacked by a spirit. A few years ago, the team investigated a particularly nasty spirit in the apartment of a lady called Catherine. While conducting the investigation, Jan got attacked and was left with red marks on her chest, back and neck.
Get out. You hear that? This comes from my body now. I'm not getting out. Who are you? Get out. Oh, I'm freaked out now. Look at this. Freaking me out. I'm just screaming, wanted everything back in. Yeah, I was like, no, you're not leaving, it's just free. You're not leaving me in here. You'll have to scream really loud to the back of the door to quite everything. What do you want Catherine for? What do you want Catherine for? And why are you here? What do you want Catherine for? Tell me, why? Have you got anything else to say? Have you got anything else to say? Get out. Don't get just scream for one of them. Oi! Oi! Terry! It's freaking me out to sleep. Oh, pins and needles going through my body. No way! Get away
What's happening?
I've got pins and needles going through my body. It's like.
You just told the girls to get her to get out instead it wanted me on my ear, me on basically.
Once heard, but I asked why it once heard, it just said, get out. And then it said her name.
No, not really. It's just basically turned around and said it wanted to talk to us.
And it's good. Get out.
No, it's not right for
I've got good pins and needles going through my body.
we felt it. We felt it. So my advice is one of you stay in the room with us and fucking ask it, and she felt it. Didn't you feel it?
Yeah.
My arms are...
We felt it in the room.
It went right through my body. It was like...
We actually felt it.
Numbing
So like literally felt
Dan,
it.
can I just ask you something? Have you been scratching yourself?
Like electric.
Have you been doing anything here?
No, why?
You've got Pat, look at your chest.
Oh my God.
On my chest, I was just cold around my chest and my neck. And then my legs were feeling cold. And then I got this electric charge going through my
pull
body.
that down slightly there, because I'm going to just zoom in on... It's just...
Is that a handprint?
I don't know, but it looks very... That looks very weird.
He's just not...
Now do you think it's
I
electric
know,
charge running through me house?
just literally noticed that as I came in the room there,
But
and
I
you
didn't know
shouted,
that before.
and
Did you
that
get
was
anything
not.
in
I would have seen that on you. That was not on there.
Absolutely.
You could see that.
And I don't have any allergic reactions to anything. See, there's mine. 1, 2. Two, put my shoe on. But why does it have to
That's
sting?
just said, wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
Who was it?
Yeah,
Let me swear.
Yeah. It's what, maybe 4?
did you hear it?
Yeah.
There's like 2 different doors.
After the attack on Jan, they decided to use a spirit board, and although it did not produce much of a result, everyone in the room felt a cold spirit, and also Catherine was scratched.
He's here.
I've got a tingling right down my right
He's
side.
here.
Right, if you're here with us now, it's time for you to communicate with us.
Can you feel that?
I can feel really tingling all down the side of my ear. Like,
Whoa.
Can you?
There's still a cold breeze coming around, yeah.
I can feel it going all up my arm. Yeah.
Can you feel that?
I can feel really tingling all down the side of my ear.
Can you feel that?
I can feel really tingling all down the side of my ear. Like,
Whoa.
Can
There's still a cold breeze coming around, yeah.
I can feel it going all up my arm. Yeah.
Do you want to hurt me? Or do you want me here by myself? The hell's that on my arm? You see that?
Wasn't there Wasn't
No.
on before, you've just said that, haven't you?
When has it been?
I'll take a picture of it, like Brandon. So
I
it's
wonder
rubbish.
if that is actually...
Let's see what you saw
quite
for.
close on there? That camera. How close
I've
is
been
that?
scratched.
We tend to differentiate between the paranormal activity and natural explanations by trying to disprove the paranormal explanations or the experience they've had. Not in a negative way, but just try and explain it away. I had a property in Northumberland. The family were claiming they couldn't sleep, they felt sick, nauseous. They were having lots of different experiences. It turns out when we went in, we checked the EMF in the master bedroom, and it was a constant high, and all of those things they had experienced is a symptom of high EMF, and that's a natural phenomenon.
So how we differentiate between normal occurrence and paranormal is that I have a piece of equipment called a K2 meter. Now these are lights that will go from green up into the red. Now the higher the magnetic field, the higher the lights go. Now if we get a spike on that, we would make sure there was nothing that was around nearby that's giving off a high reading of electricity. But we've been into places where we've been around no electricity whatsoever, and we've still got readings coming through, which would then lead us to believe that that's got to be paranormal. I wouldn't say that there was any property or location that was going to be more haunted than another. They're all pretty much the same, and we've been doing this for over 10 years, and we've got about 50 odd videos up at the moment with all the investigations that we've done, and we cannot seem to find a trend. At the end of the day, if it's haunted, it's haunted.
Safety is paramount in all of our investigations. Making sure you've got a torch, you're in constant communication with the people who you're investigating with, and sometimes it's just a little bit of common sense. Something looks too dangerous, don't do it.
We always do a risk assessment of the property before we go in as well, to see if we need any special gear. If we do so, we make sure we've already got that before we do an investigation. I can recall one of the investigations that we have done in the past. It was at Hilton Castle. Now, there was a stable boy back in the 1800s that had been killed by the master of the castle. And it was being said that he was killed because he was having sex with his daughter. Now, I asked the question and said, was it worth it? Was she a good shag? And the response that I got back through the spirit box was, you bastard. Robert Skelton, if you can hear us, here's a real chance to tell us, were you seeing the Baron's daughter and that's why you got killed, or did you actually die by accident? Was she a good shag?
That just sounded like you. That just sounded like you.
I wouldn't say any one paranormal experience was more frightening than another. However, I would say I find them all equally as interesting, and trying to get to the bottom of them is what I enjoy the most.
There was another investigation that we had done. We'd heard about an asylum and mental hospital in Scotland. So we went up to do that. It took about a mile to get there. There was no electricity on there whatsoever. Now, we'd already found out they used to do lobotomies with the patients in the asylum. So I did ask the question, have you ever had a lobotomy done and how did it make you feel? And then we did get a response back saying, crap. And to me, that was a genuine response to the question on how they felt. If there's any spirit energy with us, please come to one of these devices. They're not going to hurt you in any way whatsoever. Yeah.
Help.
Help.
I heard help.
Yeah.
Help.
Help.
I heard help.
Is there any spirit energies that possibly had any lobotomy or hydrotherapy done to them? Many.
What?
Just asked if there was anybody here that had hydrotherapy or lobotomy done to them, and the obviously just said many.
Many.
If somebody has just said that there's many people that have had those lobotomy or hydrotherapy done to them, can you possibly tell us a number, if you know? How many people would you know have had that done? Records. Being the records, wasn't it?
Yep.
What? What?
Always taking a few forward.
I know that there was a lot of people had electroshock therapy. Is there anybody here that received that treatment?
And if there is anybody, any spirit energy here that's had that treatment done to them, you can tell us how it made you feel or what it was like through these devices.
Crap. Terry, someone said crap. I heard it through the headphones. Crap. Terry, someone said crap. I heard it through the headphones.
Well, on any investigation that we do, there's the spiritual side of it, or there's the equipment side that we use. We tend to go with the equipment because the equipment does not have an opinion. Where spiritual people or mediums, you know, they'll tell you they can hear things or they're getting spoken to by somebody. That could be so easily made up. Now, for an example, there was the Most Haunted program that was out for many a year, and Derek Akora, who became quite famous through that, he did go on to admit later on, after, I don't know if it was after the series then, it probably was, that he made a lot of that up just for the TV purpose. But like I say, I don't really spiritually believe that all of these mediums, you know, are telling you the truth. I think they want you to tell you what you want to hear, especially when they're charging you. And that's another thing, we do not charge on any of our investigations neither. Well, the criteria for a paranormal event is that I would physically see it myself. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't always have a camera in the right place or a recorder on. But when we do, if we do like a camera, we would maybe capture orbs, or we could maybe physically see something trying to manifest. Now, if we've got that, it makes great videoing. And if we use a digital recorder, I would say, could you say my name, or could you tell me your name, or how old you are, or do you know you're dead? Once a question's been asked, everyone will go quiet to see if they can hear a response. Now, it's only after you get home and you go back over all the evidence of the night, of recordings and visual footage that you've got, is when you get your reveals. And more often than not, you can get a response on a digital recorder when it's on playback. There was an investigation that we have done for a woman, I'm not going to say her name. Her daughter was paralysed, but she could speak only, and she was always telling her mother that she could hear a voice coming through, and she saw a face as well. We had a picture of the face at the gate. We actually, with the equipment, with asking certain questions, found out that it was actually a family member. It was a granddad or an auntie or something like that. Can't remember now specifically. And the mother said that after we finished and broke all the equipment down, that she was so happy that we got through, and she felt not threatened or frightened anymore with the voices and, you know, the faces that she'd seen at the property.
My advice on someone wanting to start paranormal investigating would be, don't spend too much, because when we started we had to buy bits of equipment. Now you've got the likes of your mobile phone with a good camera, good microphone, and always be sceptical. Not too sceptical, you don't want to insult someone, but be sceptical, because people will try and trick you into believing things are paranormal when they have a natural explanation.
Well, the advice I would give to anybody that wants to be an up-and-coming paranormal investigator is, you've got to be very patient. Don't give up. You can spend a lot of hours getting wet or in the cold, but you do have to spend a lot of time being patient, and a lot of time you won't get stuff through, but it does pay off.
So over the last 10 years of paranormal investigating, I wouldn't really say it's changed the outlook I have. I think it's healthy to be sceptical of things, but also have an open mind.
I always wasn't a paranormal investigator. I mean, I started off as life as everybody else done, and when I was a lot younger, I suppose if somebody told me they'd seen a ghost, I would go, yeah, right. But as you get older, things happen, and that skeptic does become a believer, and I am that person, and I think that could happen to anybody. It just takes one thing to happen to anybody, and they will change their mind, and that becomes the believer.